Hello everyone and welcome to the second episode of the Mental Wealth Podcast. And myself, Jerry McGuinness. Hopefully do this every week. I have a guest this week, Richie Burke. How are you, Richie?
I'm good, yeah. Thanks for having me, Val.
No problem, bud. No problem. Great to see you.
Yeah, it's good to be here, yeah.
Yeah, good. You're smiling.
I am,
You're
yeah.
smiling, you know, which was a lot different to the fucking last time we met. I think the last time myself and yourself met, we were in the middle of shooting a video in one of the gyms you were working out of.
That's right, yeah, that's right.
And it was fucking, let me tell you, I got a good look into beast mode, as they call it.
Yeah.
Like, there were some serious deadlifts, pal. That's serious training.
That was it, yeah. That wasn't one of the harder sessions either. It was one of the easier ones.
Yeah, for you.
Yeah.
I was sitting there with a camera sweating, just looking.
That's the program, pal. Follow the program.
But I think it was important that we got such a good reaction to the first episode. That I said I was going to try and give people that may not have a voice or may not been given a platform or any sort of voice to their struggles, regardless of what it is, because at the end of the day it all needs back, I think, the mental health side of things. So with you, Richie, and I know this is our second time to record this podcast, because the first time I kind of fucked up on the editing side of it. Yeah, so
nothing to do with me.
No,
I done my part.
So
I was all good.
I think though, what kind of stemmed from where this oil came from was going back a long time ago, when I said to myself, when I was doing that diploma in filmmaking, I said, I'll get Richie's side of the story one of these days, regardless. Now, when I say your side of the story, people are obviously going to hear in a few minutes exactly what I mean by that.
Yeah.
But the main thing about it is, Richie, that there's always somebody kind of thinking about us regardless what we're going through. So I think where we kind of start, Richie, and just give people a bit of a background is, obviously we know each other a long time.
Yeah.
A long time.
Since we're kids, basically, yeah.
Going back to young lads, you know, these are the times when you put 4 jackets down and kick a ball around the park, this type of thing,
Jumpers for goalposts,
yeah. And you regardless of the winter nights, you'd still be playing football in the dark.
You'd be afraid to come in for your dinner because you wouldn't come back out again.
Exactly, yeah.
Come in for dinner. No, we need 5 minutes. You're not going in because you weren't coming back out.
And this is it, and I think that's important, because we were playing, I think, for similar football teams at the time, playing for the same football team at the time. We first got talking to each other. And obviously I knew of you from living around the area, just never really had the, we never really got.
I think everyone knew, I mean, some form.
I think everyone
mostly bad.
So, where we kind of start, Richie, is, I suppose, for everyone listening, is I want to give you a voice and a platform to voice your story. So I'm going to call this episode, I'm going to call it Richie's Story. And every couple of weeks I have guests looking to come on who want to share their stories, and I'm going to call it their stories. But the way I want to get to this, Richie, is that I want to show people that all the shit that you've been through in life, you've been fucked over and all, and you're going through your mental health issues, you're going through any physical issues, or anything whatsoever could be getting you down a hole in your back, and to know that there is another side to that where you can pick up and start to get things back on track again.
There's another end to that tunnel.
Yeah.
There's always light at the end of it, and it's so cliche, you know, but it's true. It does happen.
So I think where we'll dive in, Richie, and I know from speaking last day, we kind of started off, it was kind of we're just dancing around the subject a little bit, so I think we'll just get stuck into it. So what a lot of people don't know about Richie is, Richie has been through an awful lot in his life, and would it be fair to say that?
100%, yeah. 100%.
And I think from where I picked up on your story, or from where I saw your kind of, say, the negativity around your life was back a long time ago. We're going back to when you were 15, 16 years of age, Richie. And I think you got caught up in some stuff, and you basically got falsely accused of, am I right saying it was murder?
Murder, yeah.
Murder.
Yeah.
And you were how old again?
I was 16 when I was arrested.
16 when you were arrested. And if I can remember correctly, you were 5 years waiting on trial?
5 years. I was 21. Yeah, 21 when I went to trial. I was actually 20 when I went to trial, and I spent my 21st birthday in the Central Criminal Court during one of the days of the trial. It was a 5-week trial.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's start from the start. So for you, Richie, where did things go wrong? Or where did you notice things were very difficult for you?
From a young age, a very young age,
yeah,
it was very difficult for me. I grew up with 2 alcoholic parents. it was it was turmoil in the house at times, and there was never anything normal about our family. So from a young age, I always had some sort of little chip on my shoulder or some sort of little issues. So constantly in trouble, constantly looking for attention, constantly being the clown in the class and that kind of thing, and you couldn't show it. Like, as much as it was bad in my family, and you couldn't show any signs of it anywhere you went. You could not be like that. You couldn't be that. But I grew up in Blanchardstown, between Blanch and Sycamore, and Blanch was a hard place to grow up in. It was Fortlawn Park.
Just for them people there, Sycamores and Finglas.
Sycamores and Finglas, yeah. That was the nicer area.
The posh area.
The posh part of Finglas. Apparently until I came along. Yeah, so in Fortlawn, it's a rough area, and anyone who knows Blanchardstown will know Fortlawn and know what it's like, and you could not show any sign of weakness or any sign of being upset. You couldn't cry, and that carried through to the family too. You couldn't, there was no emotion ever being allowed shown. You weren't allowed to show any emotion, no matter what you were feeling or what was going on.
And was that just down to, was that you or across your
No, that was just my brother and sister. It was just the whole lot of us. You were just told, shut up. Too busy drinking a can, too busy fighting with each other, too busy smashing plates off each other's heads, that kind of thing. It was a mental carry on. We got taken out by the police. I don't know how many times I brought to my grandmother's house, because my parents would either disappear out of the house and leave us there for hours on end. We'd be reported, or else my mother would kill my father. And when I say kill him, she'd be hitting him with, she hit him with a vice grips one day. Opened his head right up, he's lying in the middle of the road. An ambulance came, and when the ambulance came, she went and put a block through the ambulance window on top of him. So that was just a little example.
And here was me wondering where you got your aggressive side from.
So yeah, you could say it was a bit fucked up, pardon the language, but yeah, and that continued on for years. Schools, I was in 3 different primary schools. I kept getting kicked out. I was so disruptive in class, and looking back, like, I can't even blame myself for being disruptive, because I could not have been any other way, or being concentrating on school work or any of that carry on. When I'm sitting in school and all I can think about is, right, today is Thursday, my ma gets paid today, I'm either going to walk around to the house after school and she's either going to be panned out in the middle of the sitting room with cans around her, or else she's going to have a nice dinner on. And 9 times out of 10 it was the cans and it was the drink. So you don't know what you're going to walk around with. She could be dead for all I know. She set the house on fire a couple of times, that drunk, trying to make dinners for us. So having that in your mind all the time, as a kid, it's like,
on edge.
How am I supposed to concentrate on school work or any of this? Like, your anxiety's through the roof. As I'm talking about 9, 10, 11 years of age, like, it's not right for any kid that age to be suffering with that kind of anxiety.
And would you say, I know they probably, any therapists or psychologists around see this probably rip it apart straight away, saying, you know, stuff like that you were acting out in school and acting out and so forth was kind of a way of making up for the love and so forth that you weren't really, or the attention. That's all you wanted, was attention. The only place or person that ever gave me the attention that I ever needed was my grandmother. No matter what, I ran away from Blanchardstown, I don't know how many times. I used to knock into the neighbours and say, me ma said if you got to lend 20 pence, and back then it was 20 pence on the bus. I think it went up to 25 pence at one stage, but my ma said if you got to lend 20 pence for milk, and I used to just go and get the 2.20, and I go up to my nanny's. That was my little safe place. But then at 13, the day my 13th birthday, 4th November, was the last time I spoke to my mother. She rang me from Blanchardstown Hospital, from the psychiatric unit. It was Unit 9 at the time. Okay. She's had to been in there for a few weeks. I knew she was there. Obviously, I was living in my nanny's at the time. And she rang me about 4 times on the day of my birthday, wishing me happy birthday, telling me how much she loved me. That was the last time I spoke to her. And the next day, she signed herself out of hospital. And she got knocked down. She was hit by a car, chasing my father out of a pub. And my father seen it. And he went and killed himself 6 weeks later, blamed himself on the death of my mother. So yeah, that's what happened. 2 of them were lost and gone in a couple of months with each other. So yeah, it was fairly rough at the time. So from you guys then say, so when you were telling me before your mother and father passed away, I thought it was, you know, of natural causes at one stage. I didn't know this. You know, obviously, it was as manic as their lives and as our lives, so it would have to be something that way, you know what I mean?
hit by a car and then overdosed. So the suicide and the other one. So yeah.
And how? Could you mind me asking what was the space in between?
I think it was 6 weeks.
Right.
Around 6 weeks, something like that.
They were just. I'd say.
I can't even remember the exact date my father was his death, because he was found I think 2 weeks later in the house by one of the neighbours who just got concerned because he hadn't seen him, and there was a light on the house for 2 weeks. So one of the neighbours broke in. There he was at the top of the stairs, dead.
Fuck, so they were completely codependent on each other.
100%. Yeah, Jesus, yeah. Father was in and out of prison a couple of times. Now I should also point out he wasn't my real father. He wasn't my biological father.
Oh.
He was my younger brother and sister's father, biological father.
Yes.
But he wasn't mine. He came into my life when I was about, I think maybe 3. I think so. I only knew, I think 2 or 3. I knew him as my father. I only found out when I was 11. I think it was. It was just dropped on me one day. Oh, by the way, Jerry's not your father. He's not your real father. And I'm like, what the fuck?
What age was that at you?
I think it was 11. I'm sure it was 11. Yeah. So that was a bit of a shock for me as well. So.
To my message, you ever get to meet your real dad?
Oh yeah, I know who he is. He lives around the area.
Really?
Oh yeah, he's an absolute. I won't even say the word. I've no time for.
I won't ask. I'll maybe speak to you off camera about
exactly,
that.
Yeah.
Because that's.
He's another issue. It's not even an issue. It's not even a subject to me. It's absolutely nothing to me.
I get you.
He's just a name. That's all.
I get you, and I think that's important as well, especially for a lot of, I hate to say, kids that come from broken homes and broken families and stuff like that. Is that at times it doesn't have to necessarily be the biological father who will be a father.
No. It's whoever was there as a father.
Yeah.
Whoever's there as a father, and you're in a similar situation at the moment yourself.
Yeah. I wouldn't change it though.
And I also have a stepdaughter too, and I see her as my own. So.
And this is the thing, you see, and I think a lot of people out there, and I know a lot of single mothers are like, they're like, no man will take me on with a kid and stuff like that.
There's plenty out there. Anyone who willing to step up to the plate and take on someone else's kid and see them as their own is a good man and a brave man, and is a decent fella. 100%.
I tend to agree.
I'm not giving myself thumbs up here or that.
No,
I've my own kids, and I've my stepdaughter, and they're all my own kids.
No, and you're right, and I think as men, stuff like what we're talking about here now, a lot of men are afraid to admit this kind of, this side of them. You know, as men, I think we feel like we have to be the real man, stand up, be tough, and
that's gone with the Indians. For me, that's gone, and I did live like that for years on it, and it is bollocks, Jerry. It's a persona that we are told we had to have, and in fairness, we don't have to have it. There is a soft side to men, and it's nice to see it sometimes.
Oh no, definitely it is. And what I would say to you, Richie, is that I don't think I would be too fond of my little lad or your little lad keeping their emotions in and being afraid to show who they are.
In this day and age, kids need to be talking. As adults, we need to be talking.
Agreed.
So kids need to do the same thing, and we need to teach them, and we need to know, or we need to let them know that it's okay for them to talk. And like this holding shit in, it ruined me, and still to the day, I have issues with emotions. I find it so hard to show emotion. I struggle, and as much as I want to cry, or as much as I can't sometimes. It's like this switch just goes, and it's like, no, not happening. It's a complete defence mechanism from the time I was a kid to just shut off when anything goes wrong, and it's just me protecting me. And I think it's gone on 36 now. It's gone on so long.
And I think that's a
so
really
hard.
Good point, and what you're touching on there is hugely important, Richie. So thanks for bringing that up. Basically, a lot of people, don't understand that we could be predisposed to this type of mental illnesses, let's say, or addiction and so forth, and it has a lot to do with the environment we grew up in as kids. Right? I'm not saying there is, and there's a lot of time where it's not, but these all play factors in it. And I think for you, this is after having a huge factor in it.
Of course it is. Right? Yeah.
So your mother and father passed away, right? And you were obviously going through a kind of rebellious stage. You were getting, you're moving skills, getting thrown in now a skill.
Oh yeah.
Your brother and sister were sent to live with an auntie in England.
That's right. We were split up. The younger brother and sister went to England. I stayed with my grandparents. So the family was split up basically. It was a complete disaster, and I hated everyone. I hated the world and its mother. Everything. I hated everyone. I had this anger and bitterness and resentment, and
And you were just pissed off at the
Oh,
world. You were
completely
at
pissed
the world.
off and just wanted to rebel.
Well, that's understandable.
Yeah.
You know, especially at such a young age, Richie. I don't, be honest with you, I was through just something you touched on last day, and I never admitted as well. Was around well, not that I never admitted, and I'll probably talk to you off camera about that because it's something that I will bring up over the next couple of weeks, but just not right now. So, okay, so you rebelled, you were getting into all sorts of trouble and so forth. So what led you up to, or what led you up to that night, Richie, that you got in trouble?
Well, I was a little bollocks in fairness. And I openly admit that. I was no angel, I was far from, I was the complete opposite in fairness. I was the devil, and nobody was allowed to hang around with me and all this carry on because of the way I carried on. And I got arrested a few times, I was being to court a few times. So I was well known.
Over stupid little things, was it?
Yeah, Mickey Mouse stuff, you know what I mean? I was well known by the police around the area, I was well known by everyone around the area as a little bollocks. And I remember a week before the murder I was charged with, another lady was killed down across from the Fingal. So
just across from Benevan there.
Yeah, across. That's right.
I remember that very well.
Right, there was a lady killed there, and then that was like obviously that's close to our area. And then a week later, this other lad is killed on Clune Road.
Can I just ask you? Sorry, that was a week apart, was it?
A week apart, yeah, a week apart.
Because I remember I remember them both well, but I didn't think they were that close.
Yeah, they're a week apart. So it was like Jesus Christ, 2 murders in the area. This is carnage, mental. You know what I mean? And a couple of times, I remember a guard. I won't say his name because he still lives in the area. I'm not going to mention his name. It was about 4 weeks after the second murder, and we were just walking around the area, and we used to get pulled by the police here and there.
So second murder is in the one that
I was charged with eventually. Okay. Yeah. Pulled up and he's asking questions and all. He's like, "Oh, did any of us hear what happened to that man?" And who done it or anything, lads? Just showed us a few names going around the area. And we, no, nothing. We genuinely didn't know nothing. Heard absolutely nothing about it. And usually you would hear something, you know what I mean? You'd have to be names going around, or there'd be some names getting dropped here and there. And there was nothing. And then literally 2 weeks later, 6 o'clock in the morning, I think it was, 5:30, 6. I was living in my nanny's room in my house, and I was in the box room, and I had no bed at the time. I was on a mattress on the floor. I'll never forget it. And I'm lying asleep. All of a sudden, the door comes in on top of me, and I can just remember lights sort of in my face, and I open my eyes, and there's torches everywhere, and there's these 6 blokes, and they weren't in uniform. They were dressed in normal clothes, and the first thing I thought was, these are fucking vigilantes, because there was vigilante groups around at the time.
Yeah.
And I thought,
and
I got threatened a few times.
You were a dodgy fuck at the time.
Yeah, so I got threatened, and I thought, this is it, I'm going to get smashed up. But the fact that he had torches sort of threw me a bit. I'm like, vigilantes don't carry torches. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? What's all this? And then all of a sudden, the first question that was thrown at me was, Richard Burke, where were you on so-and-so night? And I'm like, getting woke up at 6 in the morning, and you're throwing this question at me from 6 weeks previous. This was 6 weeks after the murder happened. Where were you on so-and-so night? And I'm like, I don't fucking know. I was probably in bed. You're lying straight away, writing it all down. You're getting arrested for the murder of Brian Fitzpatrick. On suspicion of the murder of Brian Fitzpatrick. And I'm like in shock, going, what the actual fuck? Like, couldn't believe it. I've been arrested for all sorts, but murder, not one of them.
Jesus. 6 in the morning.
Yeah, that was the usual. It was nothing strange. Like for a knock from the police at 6 in the morning, it was just I wasn't used to having detectives from the Criminal Bureau of Investigation from Harcourt Street coming in on top of me door. So off I was taken. Anyway, I got taken out to Blanchardstown Police Station. And when I got there, as I was coming in, I was getting booked in. Another lad that I knew that was up on the charge with me, eventually ended up on the charge with me. He was actually in the police station there as well. He was after getting arrested. He was after getting brought there separately. I'm not going to say his name. People know who he is if they know me. I'm not going to mention names.
No, don't.
And that was it. We were interviewed. Spent 12 hours in the police station. Released without charge. During that time, I had found out that there was also 4 other friends that I had hung around with still in the police station. They were in separate police stations as well. I think 2 were in Lucan and 2 were in Finglas. Something to that effect. There could be Cabra and Lucan or something like that. But anyway, apparently they had gave statements saying that me and the other lads had admitted to doing this, to committing this murder, and that we'd come back and we'd said this, that, and the other, we missed it, we kicked this fella around. And there's no such thing. I denied it down to the ground. There was no such thing at all. That didn't happen. But apparently these 4 statements were given against me and the other fella.
And the other fellow, if I'm right in saying, he was in bed at the time this was all happening, was he?
He was in bed. He was at home, yeah. Because I remember the night well. It was literally played into my mind that much. I could remember the night well. I was reminded of all the different events of that night. And I remember he was gone home at about 10 o'clock. His father used to always pick him up. Always picked him up and around 10 o'clock. And he picked him up literally about a 2-minute walk from my grandmother's house. And he was gone home. He was in bed and all this happened. This happened apparently 1 o'clock in the morning, I think 1:30 in the morning. I think the lads were at the Leaving Martin's pub, something to that effect.
And I remember that well because I was actually, the lad that you're talking about, I was actually in his brother was in my class in school.
That's
and
right.
Even the stigma attached to that filtered down, like
that was horrible.
you know what I mean? And I felt so
horrible.
sorry for the lad because the young fella, and I still talk to him now. He's a good, he's a nice lad, like, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's just it was hard to see, and I don't think people kind of, you know, you were getting tail ends of stories.
Of course you were. Everyone has their own story and everyone has their own little bit to add on. And like Chinese whispers, it just turns, it grows like wildfire, and all of a sudden you're like, what the fuck is going on here? This happened and that happened. We got released without charge that day, and it was 7 months later I got a phone call in my granny's, my solicitor rang me. Hey Richard, it's John here. A bit of information. I just wanted to let you know the police want to charge you tomorrow over that incident. And I knew what he was talking about. Now, I didn't know I was going to be charged with murder. I hadn't a clue what was going on. I didn't know what was going to be said, what was going to be. So if you're down at the police station 9 o'clock the next morning, went down, and we get down there, the other fella is there as well. And I'm like, are you at getting the same phone call? He's like, yeah. 2 of us were getting charged. Walked in, charged with murder, and I couldn't believe it. The shock I was in was unbelievable. So yeah, off the court, off to the High Court, off to the District Court, off to the High Court, off to Pat's then. There for a bit, and then 5 years later, it eventually came to trial. So it took a while to get around there. But finally it did, yeah, 5 years later. And then 5 years were absolutely traumatic. They were brutal. You couldn't leave the country, you had no passport, and you couldn't walk the streets without people thinking, like, just because you're charged with it, that's it, you must have done it. End of. You know what I mean? That's the way it was. Yeah, of course. Like my own family members, some of my family members refused to talk to me, wouldn't speak to me. Were convinced I'd done it just because I was charged with it. It wasn't good, and it affected me. It affected my mental health a lot. The depression, the anxiety, that paranoia. It was awful. It wasn't good, and I used to get awful harassment from the police over it as well. Sometimes I was arrested for things I did do, yeah, 100%, and other times it was literally for nothing, and I'd be prodded and poked at and provoked into actually just giving them a reaction, and they would, and they used to tell me, you're going to have fucking charge sheets to length of your arm by the time you get to trial. You'll never see the light of day again. The threats I used to get was unbelievable. So it wasn't nice at all. So then 5 years were brutal. Obviously eventually I went to trial. I became a father in the meantime while I was waiting on that. I think I was 18. My first child came along. Another little thing to add into the mix. I had been to prison a couple of times as well. For Mickey Mouse stuff, a few months here and there. Yeah, eventually got to trial. I was 20 years of age. Started in October. Lasted 5 weeks, finished in November. I spent my 21st birthday in court. I think I had a little bit of a party up to Fingal. Nothing major, I couldn't be celebrating with that going on.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I went to trial.
You're found not guilty.
Found not guilty, yeah.
But
the judge directed the jury to find us not guilty because there was no evidence whatsoever to actually prove that we done it. The only thing they had was the statements that said we done it, and them statements were proved inadmissible in court because it was complete lies and it was fabricated, it was made up, and they were false statements, and they were proven to be false statements. And when some of the detectives got on the stand, and one of them was just cut out, holes picked out everywhere, and that was it. The rest of them just unravelled completely
Just started,
after
yeah,
that.
snowball effect.
And that was it, and I was so happy because like if that had went wrong and that had went the other way, I'd be in prison now. It's a life sentence, end off. A life sentence, it's 15 years, and people think it's 15 years with remission. There's no remission on a life sentence. It's 15 years before you're eligible to be released. There's no remission on a life sentence. People think it's, oh, you get life and you'll be out after 12 years. No, you won't. It doesn't work like that. So anyway, yeah, that happened. The judge had to direct the jury to find me not guilty. Once them statements are thrown out, he asked the prosecution, is there any other evidence, forensic or otherwise, that you want to present to the court? Prosecution had no other evidence whatsoever, no forensics, no CCTV, nothing. So, and he had shitloads of clothes belonging to me. He had everything I owned, basically.
No DNA,
nothing
was found.
Nothing was there to link us to the murder, bar statements that were forced out of people.
I get you.
That was all. Statements that were forced out of people. And the judge made a huge, big statement about it. It's still on the RTE websites, about how much of a miscarriage of justice that would have been done if he had let them statements in as evidence in the court.
It's like something of a Netflix
and
series.
Yeah, right after that then, there was a new law brought in for video recording in the station because of that case. That was one of the cases that pushed it to get the video recording of statements in the police station, because before that, there was you and there was 2 coppers, and that was it. And obviously I'd have my grandparents, I had to have one of them with me at all times because I was under 17.
Right.
So videos are now, every single statement that's taken is videoed, and it happened right after that case.
And I think that's only fair, especially with something like that, because I'm sure your case wasn't the only one like that.
Of course it wasn't, and I guarantee you, and I know for a fact there's people out there that are in prison that shouldn't be, and there's people in prison over stuff that they didn't do, and
yeah, I get you.
You know what I mean? It's like
so therefore, right? It was, you were found not guilty. It was thrown out, right? So from there, then I know you said, you touched on there just a little bit before. You said all through this time, that's when you started experiencing anxiety and depression and so forth.
Of course,
so I think though, from myself and yourself going back and forward, after all this was knocked out, Richie was. You would think that this was Richie starting to get his life back on track, but you told me before that that was just the start of it.
That was just the start of it. That was an absolute. That was the beginning of the nightmare. I thought, that's it, it's over. I can get on with my life now. I can go on. I can have my passport. I can go on holiday. I can get a job. I've had jobs. Don't worry, I've had jobs here and there, but like not what I wanted to be doing. No, that was just the beginning of it. The harassment got worse. The stigma around it got worse. People whispering behind your back. It was all this carry on of he got away with it. It wasn't he was found not guilty because he didn't do it. He got away with it. Richie Burke got away with that murder. Did you see that? Richie Burke this, and people come up to me and all in pubs and all before. Oh yeah, you got away with that, pal. Deadly, brilliant and all. And I'm like, I'm gonna fucking smack you. I don't talk to me like that. Come over to me like I'm some sort of fucking hero that beat the police. It doesn't work like that, mate. You know, and I don't like it. I don't want anyone thinking that I went and beat the police or I got one over on the police. I didn't. I was found not guilty of a murder I didn't commit, rightly so. Simple as. And still to the day, people think like, that's Richie, that's the fella that got away with the murder. It's like, that's, a lot of people know me because of that, which is unfortunate because I'm a lot more than that.
No, of course. And
it's just people that just it's sad, and that's what you want to believe. That's what you want to believe. It's not going to affect my sleep. But yeah, the nightmare just began then with regards to police. I went back to prison again a couple of times after that. This wasn't all like their fault. Like I did get into trouble a lot. Yeah, I did. I had a serious problem with drink. I fucked around with that too much. Fucked around with drugs too much.
You think you'd have learned your fucking lesson though after the first couple of times you're in prison and stuff?
Nah, you know it's like look, I'm not telling people that prison is easy and prison is handy. It's not. It's not a nice place, and you see some horrible things in it. But it's not a place that it's gonna turn you off. You're not gonna walk out there and go, I never want to go back there again, and it's not gonna make you not want to commit crime again. It's not prison. Like it's not like I've seen you watch these programs of Banged Up Abroad and you see these prisons that are absolute nightmares. Now I'm looking at them going, Jesus, I'd rather do 10 years in an Irish prison than do 6 months in one of these foreign prisons. Because their prison, that's horror shows. Prisons over here, they're not like that. The people call them holiday camps and all. I wouldn't call it a holiday camp, but
I think they probably just compare them to what is really the worst case scenario.
It's
and then compared to that, it's like a holiday.
When you get out and you think like, do you know what? I'm gonna stay straight and narrow. I'm not gonna get into any more trouble. Like if you're gonna go off and commit a crime, then a year later, like you don't be thinking, do you know what? I might go to prison. I better not do that. You're sort of weighing up the odds, going, it's not actually that bad in prison. So I can either take the risk and get away with this. Or I can take the risk and get caught. And so what if I go to prison? It's not that bad. That's my take on it.
And when you say prison, you've been in Mountjoy, obviously.
Yeah, I was in St Patrick's. I was in St Patrick's. I was in Cloverhill. I was in Mountjoy. They're the only 3 prisons I've been in. Thank God.
Maybe touching. I think you're at this stage. You're doing a fucking tour of Ireland, trying to taste all the right foods, right? In all the hospitals, in all the prisons.
Yeah. Trying to get around Dublin prisons anyway.
And I think as well as that, Richie. At that time, you see a lot of these people that go into prison, looking the way you do, and then they come out with that. How would you say that prison physique?
Oh yeah.
You know the prison physique come out and they're fucking,
ripped to shreds.
Mr. Universe. Now I know that's not the case with you because you've obviously been in health and fitness since a young age, right? So after all this shit had the dust has settled, okay, let's say from when you tried to get back on track, Richie, right? We spoke going back a long time ago, and we were talking about one of the very first times you ended up in hospital due to mental health issues. Now I could be wrong here. I think it was actually you ended up doing a couple of weeks in Blanchardstown.
It was
a couple of months.
3 months. 3 months I was there. Yeah. I was there for a week. I got out for 3 days and I was back in, and I was there for another 3 months after that. We had attempted suicide. I tried to hang myself.
Why?
The depression was killing me. I couldn't deal with it, and it wasn't just like depression around that time. It was depression from years upon years upon years upon years.
Building and building.
Things just catch up with you. I never actually dealt with anything that I've been through. I never grieved. Sexually abused as a child by a family member.
Was that at a young age as well?
That was a young age, yeah. But there was a lot went on in my life that I never actually fully processed and fully understood, and fully even recognised for what it was. And I never dealt with it, and it's literally just everything, that mentality of just forget it, and push everything back to the back of your head. Don't deal with it, don't talk about it, you can't have them issues, act the hard man, be mad Richie that you have this fucking name to live up to. You can't be shown to be like anything other than this mad bastard, apparently. Hard man Richie. It's absolutely ridiculous, because all it done was, it ruined me, in the sense of with mental health issues.
So what happened was, obviously it was building up over time. You had your first hospitalisation due to depression, basically, and you spent 3 months. You spent 3 months in there the first time.
3 months, yeah.
3 months in there the first time, right? So, let's say you're in there for 3 months, right? And let's say after the 3 months, how did you feel coming out there after 3 months? Did you feel better?
I did, yeah, because of the break away from everything.
Just completely shut off from the outside world.
That's all it was, yeah. It was just. But I very quickly slipped back into the way I was because of the environment I was in, because of the people I was around. It didn't last long. Like I had to see the psychiatrist after. Obviously, yeah, you have an outpatient appointment. I was weekly with the psychiatrist. But like all you do was here's another script. How are you getting on? Grand. Well, I'm not really getting on great. I'm feeling a bit this. Okay, anyway, here's a script, and it's like a fucking revolver. He wants you in and out the door. Get the next patient in. Yeah. Script out. That's all it felt like. And I know psychiatrists are not supposed to be there to have in-depth discussions with you.
Well,
but when I say to them I have an issue, I expect them to do something about it.
Yeah, but the first thing is that they are trained, first of all, in any medical to do no harm to patients. So whether they, at the time though, Richie, compared to now, there was little or no fuck. There was fuck all talk therapy, or these different forms of therapy. There was like counselling.
There was counselling with go down to volunteer count, like these volunteers in like St Helena's or something like this kind of carry on. Not professional psychology is what I would have been, what I would have needed. Now, in fairness, like I'm saying that I would have needed that. I don't think I would have took the help, because I had been to counselling, I had been to different counsellors, and I never wanted to talk. Like I never, I didn't. I was like, I don't want to talk to you. Fuck off. Like,
Yeah.
Sorry for the language, folks, but no, I didn't want to talk. I wanted to just leave me alone, leave me off. Don't go near me. I'm not going to tell you anything. I don't like you. That was my attitude towards everyone.
I don't need to talk to anyone.
Yeah.
Being stubborn about it.
Yeah.
So I think, but that was, I think that was a kind of a normal approach to it from a male's perspective back then, Richie.
Of course it was.
Because I know, family member very, very dear and close to me. He could tell you stories now as well, and you know who I'm talking about. But he could tell you stories now, and he would say, "Jer, the help nearly nowadays is just as the same as it was back in the 60s, 70s, 80s. I mean, what he means by that is, yes, there's a lot of different forms of therapy out there, but when you actually go through the health system, it's a bit like it's a bit like prison sex. The sex you want, you're not getting, and sex you're getting, you don't want." So
I know nothing about that, folks.
Yeah,
just so as you know, Jerry's looking at me funny here.
So yeah, but he was saying, like, in that, he says, "Jerry, it's just a revolving door. I'm going in there, and they're sending me to this and that place, but it's not. I'm doing the same thing that I was doing going back years ago. I'm just on less medication."
Yeah. It's it's not. It hasn't improved a whole lot.
But I think what has improved though is the willingness and openness for different people to talk about it.
That's what has improved, and people are more accepting of mental health now. It could still be improved a lot more, and there could still be less stigma around it. I mean, the stigma has gone a lot, but it's still not enough, and it still needs to be opened up a bit more. And people are opening up, and it's lovely to see. I've only, like, this is.
It is. You saw your post on Facebook. How many people were like, willing to talk to you, or willing to listen to you?
That was World Mental Health Day. I think it was last month, was it? It was World Mental Health Day. I had no intention of talking to anyone or saying in this post, and I just flicking through Facebook and I seen it on Instagram and hashtag World Mental Health, and a couple of people were saying little quotes and blah blah blah, and I said, you know what, I'm going to actually just put it out there and say, tell people my condition and how my daily life is, and how I can struggle some days, and how it's not all rosy in the garden for me, as much as it looks like that on my Instagram, on my Facebook.
Yeah, fair play to you.
So I went and said, okay, World Mental Health, I have this, that and the other. And the response I got was unbelievable. I couldn't believe it, and I wasn't expecting it at all. The amount of people that mailed me privately and got on in touch with me, and even publicly on the page, were like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you shared that. I'm so I can feel like I can share now. I feel like I can," and it was overwhelming.
Well, that's good.
People just couldn't believe that.
It's really good, isn't it? Like, I received a lot of support like that going back when I first posted my status on Facebook going back years ago, and there was a lot of people opening to listening, and there still is, and some of those people still keep in touch. So you could, when you came out of hospital the first time and you went through the whole mental health, you didn't want to talk to people and so forth, right? And then would it be fair in saying that the last time, or the time after that, then was probably the time that you needed to be resuscitated?
Yeah, that wasn't for mental health. That was.
No, but what I'm saying is
the next one was in hospital.
Yeah, but what I'm saying here is like that was due to drinking drugs.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
And from an addiction side,
because I was going through some shit, and as always, what Richie does is, what Richie did, I should say, because he doesn't do it anymore, thank God, was mask the pain or mask the emotion with drink, or escape with drink, and I used drink and drugs as an escape. And that time was just, I was going through some shit, and I went on a bender for like 4 days, drink, drugs, non-stop. Come to Monday then, I ended up having internal bleeding, an internal bleed I didn't even know about. I think I collapsed on the bed, got sick blood. I was woke up, an ambulance was rang for me. I got sick, a lot more blood around the house. It was like a crime scene. The place was destroyed. I was taken to the hospital. I was thrown on a trolley. I can remember well the ambulance man telling the nurse when he brought me in, "Oh, he's had to having too much to drink, just let him sleep it off." And I'm like, I just got fucking sick blood and a lot of blood. I know for a fact I'm not just too drunk and I need to sleep it off. I knew there was something up, laying the trolley.
And you're one or two. Well, one of your kids saw you getting
My
sick.
son, it
that blood
was
in
my
the
son that
system,
came up and found me in a pool of blood, like blood pumping out of my mouth. I was at the vomiting in my sleep, and it was blood. Luckily, I was just lying sideways at the time. Yeah, my poor son. It was the day before his birthday as well, which wasn't fucking good.
Did you ever worry that might affect him?
Yeah, like it can affect him. Of course, it's going to affect him. I ended up with that internal bleed. I ended up vomiting more blood. I went into cardiac arrest. I lost so much blood. I had to be resuscitated and rushed down for emergency surgery to stop the bleed. I spent a while in hospital after that, and yeah, that was a close call. I was told I was about 10 minutes away from bleeding to death. So, do you think things have changed when you do something like that? But no, it doesn't. And the reason it doesn't, people can say, well, you're stupid. Why would you drink after that happening to you? Why would you do it? It's not nothing to do with the drink. It's to do with what's going on in your head that you use drink for. That's what it is. So, like, you can die from drink. Yeah, of course you can. I nearly did. But turning around and telling me you shouldn't drink again after that, I know I shouldn't drink after that. I know for a fact I shouldn't, but this is all I know. This is the only way I know. This is my crutch, and it has been my crutch for 30 years, and I'm going to continue to use it until someone gives me another crutch to use, or another support, or another help. Or if I don't have another outlet, or I don't have another way of coping, or another way of dealing, this is all I know how, and this is what I've been doing for years on end. So yeah, of course it's stupid to drink and do drugs again after that, but like, it doesn't work as easy as people telling you shouldn't. How can you drink after that, after you're nearly dying?
Did you ever try to seek help for the addiction?
Of course I did. I've been in residential rehab. 4 months I spent in residential rehab.
Altogether, or
3 months, 1 year, and then a year later.
I remember you remember texting you and stuff like that. You were going in and out, and I was delighted because
3 months down in a lovely place called Coombe with it, down in Attoy. And I couldn't thank them enough. It is a great place. It's a great program, and anyone out there struggling with alcohol addiction, I would recommend looking into Coombe. It's brilliant. It works. It's tough. It's very challenging, and for me, it was highly challenging because you're left raw down there. Your emotions are laid bare on the table, and like you have no drink or drug to, like, the minute you feel these emotions, oh fuck, to pick up a drink and it's gone, which is what I used to do. Yeah, you have to sit there with them. Yeah, it's so hard, and like that place will literally strip you down and build you back up again. And like there's days in there where I literally cried and cried and cried, and I didn't know what was going on with me. And I'm like, all these emotions are coming up, and I'm feeling these emotions, and I couldn't fucking run away from them. And I thought I was going mad. I'm like, this is horrible. What the fuck is going on with me? Why am I feeling like this? What is this about? Why is this feeling like this? And I'm replaying stuff in my mind from years ago. But what was happening was things that, like, as I was a kid, I'm remembering these things that were happening as I was a kid. Like, my father tried to smother me and all.
What?
Tried to kill me, yeah. He tried to smother me.
Sleep?
No, while I was awake, because I brought someone else into the house, one of the friends into the house, while he was off getting drink. He told me to bring no one in to wait in the house on my own. I came in, and there was another fella, Ray, was with me in the house, and he went fucking mental. And he got a pillow. He want to fucking kill you. And he got a pillow, jumped on the bed on top of me, and held me there for about 30 seconds, and I thought I was dying. But anyway, the point I was saying was, like, when I was down there and I was going over these things in my head, I wasn't only remembering what happened, I was remembering then the feeling that I felt at the time, and it frightened the fucking shit out of me, because I never felt like that before. Anytime I think about these things and I start having an inkling of a feeling of how I felt back then, gone. Just either going to be a drink had, a tablet took, or a line of cocaine, and that'd be it.
So that's how
just run away from it. I couldn't deal with emotions
Richie,
or feelings.
That's fucking horrible, mate. Sorry you had to go through that. Jesus Christ.
But anyway, that was the hard part for me in Coombe, because
so you went after that. You went to rehab. You were in and out of rehab. You tried. You relapsed. You went back into rehab, and then recently, just before we started shooting the video, you were going through a bit of a bad time. You were back in the day hospital. For those you don't know, what happens is if you're not severe enough to be lucky enough to get a stay in the hospital, they'll send you to a day hospital, an outpatients clinic, where you would go and do classes a couple of days a week for a couple of weeks' time. And you do classes on coping with suicidal thoughts, depression, all that type of stuff, grieving, everything. And but sometime a lot of the time when you come out of hospital, you have to do that as mandatory to in order to integrate kind of back into life and there.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you were back in that day hospital the time that I was speaking to you, and then you know, things were you were starting to somewhat get back to normal, or it seemed like you were getting back to normal, and we were starting to shoot a video and stuff.
Yeah.
And we were halfway through. I think we were halfway through the video, which, by the way, if you remind me later on, I want to show you some of the footage before you leave.
Definitely, yeah.
Right.
I need to see that
because you haven't seen it yet.
No, I haven't seen it.
But then I text you a couple of days. Actually, you text me one day. Says, when are we doing the rest of the video? And I said, yeah, I'm gonna sort it out. Just I was busy with work, and then I text you a couple of days later. Said, right, what day are we doing this? And your reply to me was, Jerry, I'm back in the hospital. And I was like, I was gutted for you, and you can ask the missus. I said to her, I said, Richie's back in the hospital, and she was like, what? I thought he was doing well. And I was like, that's point
what happens.
That's
what happens.
Although it may look like, and we can all wear different masks, Richie. Like, you'll have to wear your work mask.
Of course.
When you go to work.
I go to work. I'm Richie, the personal trainer. I'm as professional as they come. So anything else doesn't come with me. And
so you ended up back, let's say, you ended up back in the hospital, and you I literally said that you weren't leaving this time. Yeah. You know, you wanted to be, as much as it kills and it hurts to actually. I just wanted to. When you're at that stage and you have to admit it to yourself, you get so sick of going around and the same thing, and it's like it feels like it's never ending. It's never going to be fixed. It is. You're never going to be better. It's horrible. And this is the point where I was trying to prove, right, was the doctors and nurses were saying to me, you're too heavily focused on medication, right? Now, I've told them I've done every fucking different type of therapy there was for years. I've tried them all, right? Yeah. And the only thing that helped ease my symptoms was the medication, right? Yeah. So I was heavily focused on it because it had helped before. I didn't want to be heavily focused on it. I didn't want to depend on medication, but I had to be real with myself. If it works, it works. You have to. It's like if you had diabetes, you need insulin. If you're insulin dependent, my son is insulin dependent, my brother is insulin dependent. Both of them need insulin, and that's just the way it is. It's a medical condition, and mental health is no different. If you need to take medication for a medical condition, so be it. So I don't think that being focused on tablets is a bad thing. Yeah, no, if it works. And I would agree. So I was, and I went through a whole fucking nightmare with medications and so forth. But I did stick to the only therapy that kind of stuck with me throughout the years was the CBT, and I still use it to this day every morning, because my mornings, I swear to God, man, it's fucking weird, right? I can't sleep for too long, and I can't function without any lack of sleep. It's fucking weird. And so even this morning, I had an awful day today. But I'd still use the CBT, you know, like just challenging the thoughts, just getting up out of bed, first thing, putting my socks on, and then just building up from there, have a cup of tea and so forth when I get up, and then, so by that time I'm dressed and I'm ready to go and get out the door. I get out to work, and by the time I get into work, it's just kind of settled a little bit, you know, the anxiety and that is settled. So we were shooting that video, you were back in the hospital, you came back out, you were in the hospital for a good couple of weeks this time around though. I was in for 3 weeks. That time I texted you, I was in for 3 weeks. I was in for 3 weeks, I was out for 3 weeks, and I was back in for 3 weeks with the exact same problem. And the reason why? Because when I left the hospital the first time, I should say, when I went into the hospital the first time, it was self-harm and suicidal thoughts and that kind of thing. I had sliced my arms open very badly. I got a shitload of stitches. And they took me in, but they literally took me in and just, here's your bed. And I think maybe 3 times a week a nurse would speak to me and ask how I was doing that day. 5-10 minute chat. And that's what I can see just from your arms and your legs and all. I mentioned to you before, you look like you have to go on 12 rounds with Freddie. I'm like a Build-A-Bear, stitched up now, stitched together. Fucking Build-A-Bear. I know it's not a funny thing, but sure, I think sometimes you just have to kind of... Look, you have to have comedy and humour in this life. Yeah, I've over 100 stitches now at this stage from self-harm. And I've only started that recently. It sounds like it's a new project I'm doing. I've only started it recently. I've never done it before. The first time was 2 years ago. It wasn't even 2 years ago. And I never understood why, but I do understand the minute I done it. It was that release.
The minute the first cut was just like this release of pressure in your head. It's like your head is gonna fucking explode. It's going 100 million miles an hour. Every thought that you can think of is going in. Every worry you can think of, the anxiety, the paranoia, there's depression in on top of this, and it's like your head is literally you just want to shoot yourself in the head just to get this pressure.
Oh,
but
I know it. I know it well.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Well.
Anyone that understands will know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm sure you're sitting there going, Jesus Christ, I know exactly what you mean, Richie. I hope you do. In fairness, I hope you don't, but I'm sure you can relate. But the cutting was just like, it was unbelievable. It's just like, oh my God. It's like, do you know when you just sit down after a hard day's work and you literally put your ass in the chair and you go, oh, love it, grand, feet up. It's like that. It's literally like that. I can't really explain it. I never understood it before. I've seen people in the hospital self-harming, and I was like, why would you do that? What is the, like, there was a girl in there destroyed. I told this to you before. She was destroyed from wrist up to shoulder, destroyed in scars. She was only very young. I was like, why would you do that? And she's like, it's a release. It's this feeling of relief. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, but how was it? Because that had hurt. I mean, you're bad. And she was really bad. But the minute I done it, I was like, I know exactly what the girl meant. I knew exactly what she meant then. I just, that feeling.
And obviously this sort of talk
can
be kind of triggering for some people as well. So just if this is too triggering and you're in a bad place, maybe put it on and come back to it at a later stage.
Go and have a cup of tea and chill out.
Yeah. So that worked as a release for you, right? So,
but this was a new form of release now. That's not good. Like I'm 35 and this is happening. You know what I mean? It's been suicide before. It's been like trying to hang myself. It's been drink. It's been drugs. It's been attempted overdoses, etc. And now all of a sudden, like 35, now I'm only finding out that I can cut myself now as well.
You know what's happening?
That's not good. That I'm finding this other stuff. I'm still at it. You know what I mean? Like there's no fix, if you get me.
No, I get you, and you're constantly looking for
a new way. Exactly, when it should be like, I don't have the right way. I don't have that in front of me.
And can I ask you, did the self-harm classes in the likes of the day hospital, have they helped in any way? Because I know they make suggestions with rubber bands and ice and all this type of certain things. No,
I haven't actually done a self-harm class in there. Right. It's usually around coping with anxiety, coping with depression, that kind of stuff. It's usually it's the same classes over and over again, basically. It's just recycled every few weeks. For new patients coming in, because I think you get between a 4 and a 6 week stint in there, I think.
And I think what's important, right, what I've learned about recovery, I know you have the whole addiction side of it as well, Richie, right? So I don't know whether you can confirm it from this side or not, but I know from the mental health side of recovery, a lot of people say, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and
expecting a different result.
I think in recovery, it's the opposite. You have to do the same stuff over and over and over. Do you get me? Before
it's the right stuff you need to be doing.
Exactly. So you have to keep being.
But it's like everything. It's that goes with bad habits too, which is the bad habits I picked up as a kid.
Of course.
Which was shutting off. Yeah. The bad habits of not speaking. Yeah. The bad habits of isolating.
No,
myself.
I agree.
And that's what I knew, and that's what happened. So if you can change them bad habits
and get yourself
do the opposite
into that cycle of the positive.
It will work. Yeah. People can change. Everyone has the ability to change. Everyone has the ability to change their perspective on everything, and it just takes practice. And
but
you just need and it's all about education. So you need to know what works for you, because obviously, like, if you keep doing the same thing, you're going to get the same results. So you need to change it up. And do something different. But you will find out what works for you, but like we said, it's not readily available out there. All this help and all this knowledge is not readily available.
And I think this needs to happen in secondaries. I think kids need to be educated on this stuff, like not to this extent, but
it should be
not as early warning signs.
Exactly, some sort of education around mental health should 100% be in schools. I wouldn't even say no to primary schools at this rate.
Because it can be with kids from a very young age as well.
Yeah, it can. Of course it can. Well, back when I was a kid, I know now looking back, I did suffer with depression and anxiety and all that carry on. I just didn't know what it was.
Yeah, same.
I hadn't a clue what it was. I didn't know anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I know now that's what it was.
And you just at that time you probably just brushed, I need a bleeding sleep
I
or something
didn't.
like
There
that.
wasn't even. I never knew what mental health was. I never knew what depression was. I never knew what anxiety was. I never knew what any of that carry on was. I never knew what it was. And now, obviously, it's a lot more.
And it was hidden from me from a very young age until I started going through lots of stuff, and then luckily, I was the person in the family that struggles with it has been nothing but a role model for me, and someone that I can fall back on, and still to this day will be there for me every tear that I need to wipe. That he's there, you know. So I guess, Richie, kind of where we'll go from here in regards to the podcast is. So you ended up, so you're after going through your latest stint in the day hospital, right? Mm-hmm. The last time around, when you come out of the day hospital, you hit. I'm right saying you were hitting work hard. You were like six days a week.
That was when I went to the. When I went back into Blanche, it was not the day hospital. I had gone into Blanche for the 3 weeks, with the self harm, suicidal thoughts. Come 3 weeks later, they're like, "Oh, we think you're ready to go." And I was itching to get out because like I'm a personal trainer, and so I had my clients. I'm a self-employed personal trainer, so my clients are my income.
Yes.
I had put them off for the 3 weeks while I was there.
I remember that, yeah.
No money coming in. I have a family to support, bills to be paid, etc. So obviously I want to get back to work. So at like half me is going, do you know what? I probably am all right to go. And the other half is going, Richie, you're not. Yeah, you're definitely not ready to go. But of course you don't want to go ahead with the one that's telling you not to go.
Yeah, because you're always trying
to challenge. So I thought, you know what, I'll push through, I'll be grand. I'll get out and I'll figure it out when I'm out there. That's basically what I was saying. So I sort of agreed with the doctors when they said, do you think you're ready to go? We think you're ready to go. Do you think you're ready? And I was going, yeah. Lovely, can't wait. This was on a Monday. Okay, Richie, we're happy enough to let you go today. Here's your prescription. Here's your appointment for the outpatients. Off you go. I got released from the hospital about 2 o'clock Monday day. 6 o'clock the next morning, I went straight back to work, and I worked straight through till Sunday. I've done the same again, 2 weeks solid, 6 weeks, or 6 days of the week, and I was working 12, 15 hours sometimes. I was playing catch up with clients, with some of the clients that I had off for the 3 weeks, obviously while I was in hospital, and I was also just throwing myself into it because at the time, I had unfortunately broke up with my partner at the time while I was in the hospital. So when I left the hospital, I'd gone back to my grandmother's house, and I was living in her house, and I was living on a couch in an old granny's house, and it wasn't good. Yeah, so I'm away from my family, I'm away from my partner, and I'm throwing myself into work just to sort of escape all that other shit going on as well.
And you've also the mental health problems.
And I have all this shit going on. So yeah, I threw myself into work, but like after the first week of work, and the first week of being out of hospital, I could see straight away there was little signs telling me, Richie, this isn't going too well. Something isn't right, and it's only going to kick off, and it's a matter of when, not if. You're going to go tits up again. I knew it was happening. Ignore it. Into work, forget all about it. Only when I come home from work, I'd be sitting there thinking, I'd be like, Jesus, getting all anxious, getting all depressed. And I just throw myself away from it all the time. 3 weeks later, after getting released from the hospital, 3 weeks later, of course, I went and had a drink. Ended up, the next day I think it was, I sliced my arms open again. At this time they were bad. I sliced my arms open, and I sliced my leg open. Across my thigh, I had a lot of stitches across my thigh, very deep scars.
You've lost some feeling in some parts.
My right arm, that's on my right arm here, from just above my elbow, or just below my elbow, right down to the wrist. I have no feeling in my arm at all now. On the front of my arm, because I cut that deep that it went straight through nerves, and they haven't come back since. My other arm is destroyed, as you can see. Yeah, scars everywhere. Like I said earlier, over 100 stitches.
Jesus, Richie.
So there, you can see old scars. As well,
you can see them. Just kind of gone white and stuff.
Yeah, so some bad ones. And that's how I ended up back in the hospital again. And it was just, I wasn't ready to go.
Yeah, because I remember we were obviously, Richie, we stay in contact nearly all the time because you know, we both can relate to not what we've been through, but what we'll go through mentally.
Yeah.
So I was texting you and you were telling me, this time, Jay, I'm staying in the hospital. I'm going to wait and I'm right this time.
I needed it.
And I think what happened last time was you were writing what you did and trying to get back to normality and trying to throw yourself into work as a distraction, but you overdid it.
Of course I did. Yeah.
You by far overdid
see,
it, Richie.
that
It
was
should have
the
been
thing.
a 2 or 3 day.
Exactly. I was doing 6 days a week, and like I'm talking about.
And you were
getting
doing
up
all day
and-
hospital.
No, I didn't go to day hospital. I refused the day hospital because I wanted to go back to work. I was like, I have to go to work, Felt like I was letting people down. Felt like I was letting work down, colleagues down, clients down, that kind of thing. So yeah, it was a bad move, and it was a completely dick move to leave my partner as well while I was in hospital. That didn't help me at all.
No, I remember you saying that.
No, it wasn't.
At the time, and you went through a little bit of what I went through, like that same sort of thing happened with myself and the now wife. Like my head was all over the place, and I was blaming it on areas of my life that weren't necessarily to blame, but I didn't know what the fucking blame. I just had started eliminating stuff, and it was just I lost so much because I lost so much of my life and so much of time because of it, and a lot of stuff that I can't get back, but I can only try and make up for now.
Exactly.
So, and the same kind of happened with you. I know you're back with the girl now. She seems like a lovely girl. I had a quick chat with her on Facebook last week after we met.
That's right. She's absolutely amazing.
And I know she's anxious to hear this. And
it was, it was.
You've told me how much you love her, how much you love the kids, even how much you love her kid. That's your stepdaughter. Exactly.
She's an amazing woman. I can't give her enough credit. I really can't. She's been there through everything. She's literally she's always seeing the good in me, even when I couldn't see it myself. I could be so low, so depressed, so down at the bottom of a fucking barrel.
And she's going to, am I right in saying she's going to do a course soon?
She started already. She went and started a course. I didn't know anything about this. She just came in and told me, Richie, I'm starting this course next week.
Through Aware, was it?
Through Aware. It's about how to deal with a loved one suffering with depression, depression, anxiety. She went off her own back and done that. Like simple little things like that, like mean so much to me.
It does, doesn't it?
And it's such a lovely touch, and I can't.
And even though we don't show it at times, I think.
No, I can't show it because I'm a fucking man. Yeah. That's way brutal at it.
And even though we don't show it at times, even with people with mental health, like deep down, it really means a lot.
It does mean a lot. You might not show it at the time.
It's such a lonely, isolating thing. That well, it feels like it, and you refuse to accept that people know what you're going through. But there are people out there that do feel the same things, and there's people out there that don't, and they say they know what you're going through. And you're like, you haven't fucking clue.
No, it's so tough, and I feel sorry for anybody out there that's with someone suffering with depression, anxiety, any mental health issues, and they've never experienced it themselves. Because me trying to explain mental health to somebody who has never experienced it is like trying to say to someone, like trying to explain how chocolate tastes. How do you explain how chocolate tastes? You don't. You can't. It's impossible. You know what I mean? Trying to tell someone this is how chocolate tastes, it doesn't work. You cannot explain it to them. And
now you have me thinking.
So, so for a loved one, or for my partner in particular, she had absolutely no idea of any sort of issues that I had when she met me. Obviously, because you don't just walk up and go, "Hey, I'm Richie. I have this, that, and the other." She's experienced it with me over the last 4 years nearly now, and I put the girl through hell at times, and through my mental health, through my addictions, through my actions, and she's literally never once turned her back on me, never walked away. She's been there, and she was meant to come into my life. I don't care what anyone says. She was meant to be here. I'm so happy that she did.
I know what you mean.
It's like
we're very lucky, Richie, to have the family and have the women that we have in our life at the minute, and I know I hate saying it because I never like talking about parents and stuff, especially in front of people who don't necessarily have parents, but even my mother's been such a a strong, her mother was such a strong how would you say, person for me in my life, my dad as well, and my brother and so forth. So, and you have your kids, you have yourself, and there's a lot of other people out there, including myself, that care about you, So
of course there is.
What I'd say to you is, although we don't mean it and we put them through it a lot of the time, it kills us doing it. We don't mean to do it.
That's the thing. Like when you're doing this overnight, you're like, why am I doing it? And the hurt that you put, the hurt, you can't tell, and it's so frustrating. It can be so frustrating and so disheartening to know that you're hurting this person with your actions, but not being able to control it, and trying to explain to them why you can't control it. It's horrible, and you feel so worthless. You feel guilty. You feel remorse. You feel shame. You feel everything, and it can completely, like when you start getting these feelings and you ruminate with it, it can completely spiral. And that can cause even more mental health problems. Then it can antagonise your problems even worse. Then.
So just for the people that are listening, I don't think we said, we did speak about it last day very briefly. But what was your diagnosis now again this time around?
Okay, so bipolar, as you might have guessed, with the depression.
So the highs, and so you get
highs,
one extreme from
manic,
highs to lows.
Yeah, I can go. It's manic, complete high, to complete low. And then I have another one called emotional instability personality disorder.
And that's the one you really struggle with.
That's the one that's a big one for me. That's a bad one. I'm not one for labels. I don't like being labelled with this, but it's nice to actually know, do you know what, this is what when I was actually told what it was, which was only quite recently, this is what you have. It sort of gave me a bit of relief, knowing that this is what it is, and I'm not just going fucking mad. But basically, what my emotional instability personality disorder is like a mood disorder. My emotions are completely unstable. I have no control over them sometimes, which means I can go through 4 or 5 different moods in one day, and it's like someone is in your brain, and you're like, right, they're hitting switches. You're going to be this way, you're going to be that way, and it can change by the hour. And it's like you have no control over it. And it can be scary, and it can be scary for other people around me. Like my partner used to say to me, which Richie have I got today? Or which Richie have we got now? Because I could change within an hour. It could be one person 1 minute and another person the next. And I don't mean like schizophrenic as in different. No, I'm Tom, Jerry, and like something off the film Split. Yeah. You know what I mean? She'd have slagged me, calling me the things that were Split and all. Give over, will you?
You start switching on me and you stay there. Yeah, so that's the part that you're really struggling with. Well, that's mainly
it's
causing an issue now. And
I've huge emotional.
You're on new meds and you're on a fairly high dosage of meds. So
they work for me at the moment. They're mood stabilisers. They do work. I'm not going to put the medicine down.
No, but you mentioned it before, Richie, and I'll skip to it because you mentioned it before. I was saying, like, there's different things that you need to try. There's different things that you're going to need to try. But your rule is you have to do at least 3 things. And for you, medication, exercise, and what was the third one again? Can you remember? I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah, no, I need to talk.
Therapy.
I need to talk.
That's what. So it was medication. So let's just put it in context. So you have your therapy, your exercise, and your medication. Right? And I know for a huge factor of your life, exercise is
a huge deal.
The all in lot, and you still do your talk therapies. You're still taking your meds. But the most important thing is people that are to listen to this story now is. They don't. First of all, you're still here.
Of course, I'm still here. Yeah.
And little do you know, you're now back in work, and you're back in a local gym here in Finglas.
I am indeed. Yeah. Thank God.
So, I know. Again, last day I said to you, what advice would you give yourself when you were younger? So if you, and the way I wanted the position that Richie was, like, I know looking back on myself now, I'd obviously say to myself, whatever you do not fucking do this point, because this is where everything starts to go fucking wrong for you, right? But if you know that that's going to happen inevitably, and you're standing over a younger version of yourself, what advice would you give yourself? It's
tough to look back at my life in particular. I can only speak for myself, and I can only give what talking about me as I've gone through it. It's tough to give myself any advice because
you probably wouldn't take it on.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't have took it on. In fairness, now at that age, I didn't take anything on. I was going around, and the world owes me something. All that carry on. With regards to my mental health, that's the only thing I can give advice on. I can't give advice on what happened to me because it was uncontrollable.
Of course.
With the mental health issues I had, what I needed to do was to speak.
Okay.
I needed to speak, and I needed to be heard.
So not to keep it in, to speak.
No, I needed to be heard. I needed to speak, and I isolated, and unfortunately, because I didn't do that, I turned to drink and drugs.
Okay.
It was an easy escape. It was an easy option.
So let's knock these down as we're going. Right. So first of all, you would have talked more.
I would have spoke. The advice I'd give to myself is go and speak to someone.
Right.
Find help. Demand it.
And you would have obviously, I know it's saying no shit Sherlock, but you would have stayed away from the drinking
I
drugs.
would have stayed away from drinking drugs, 100%.
Right.
I don't. That's like you'll have to find this. For me, it's finding a balance in my life and a structure.
Well, obviously you'd have kept telling yourself to keep up the exercising because that's a huge important part in your life.
I would have started a lot earlier. I know I played football. I boxed. I played football all my life.
No, but Richie,
and the
like,
gym.
it was literally like you were playing football and then one day you took your top off. I think we were playing a match for Griffith. You took your top off and it was like you were after swallowing 6 Richies.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I just took on training I took it to a new level with myself then, yeah. But it's me. I have that sort of personality. It's like I'm all or nothing. And people with our sort of issues, and I'm saying our as in me and you. Some of us I find are very impulsive, and are very all or nothing. I'm black and white. There's no in between with me. If I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it, and that includes fucking up. So I throw myself into something. 100 million %, and I go balls to the wall, and it's all in.
And that's what you do for your clients now as well.
100%.
You know
like I love my job. I love it. And for me, when I start training in the gym, I always liked exercising. I always liked football. I always liked boxing. I always liked training. But it wasn't until I actually went to a gym and I started living, because I used to be like skinny. I was like a coat hanger going around.
Oh, I remember you.
Literally,
you're like a pull through with a rifle.
Yeah, oh yeah, Jesus Christ. I'd fall down the shore walking past it. Like, I'm telling you now, I'm not messing. Like, go on to my Facebook and see all the pictures of me. Jesus.
I remember it.
It was bad, but I went into it. I bought weights in Argos. That was the first time I ever started lifting weights. And I bought weights in Argos and I started doing the exercises that were on the big sheet that you got with a big poster that you put on the wall. These plastic vinyl weights, and and I started doing them, and I started noticing these little muscles coming up in place, and I'm like, hold on a minute, this is actually not bad. Like, and eventually I got confident enough to go and join a gym, and how I felt leaving a training session was just unbelievable. Like that feeling, like from the serotonin, and it's just.
It boosts endorphins in your brain as well.
It's unbelievable, and for me it was like a therapy. And I got so much into it. Like, I educate myself on everything. I liked it that much. I literally, not that I threw myself into it completely, but I done it. Of course I did. I got qualified out of the University of Limerick eventually. But even before that, all through my training, everything I done was, I knew what I was doing. I knew why I wanted to do it, and I got so educated in it that. People used to come up and ask me, how do you ask for help, basically.
I often hear people asking me as well.
So I said, you know what, I'm actually going to seek, and I'm going to look into getting a career in this. So I looked around. There's a couple of Mickey Mouse courses here and there that you can get, and you can get your Mickey Mouse PT cert. I didn't want that. I wanted the best. I wanted the best of the best. So I found I could get this one that's world recognised.
As you said, you're all in.
So University of Limerick. NCEF qualification, and I've been working at it years now since. I love it, and I can pass this stuff on to, like, I have clients that I never know they had mental health issues. They only come to me. They don't tell me this. They drop me an email, they drop me a call.
I've seen the posts on
Instagram,
PT, and I've actually seen quite recently over the last 6-7 months. One or two people in particular saying, just want to let you know, Richie, that I was struggling with my own mental health.
Brilliant.
It has helped me.
I wouldn't know any of this.
Completely not knowing this sort of
I wouldn't know any of this. I don't ask people if they mental health issues. Like, it's not for me to ask. I'm a personal trainer for coming to a gym.
No, but
their goals is to do this and do that, and as I'm training them, it's improving their mental health, and not only in a way that it's releasing these natural endorphins and all that carry on. Their self-confidence does be boosted. Like, all this does be increased because they're training in the gym, they're learning new things, they can see changes in their life, they can see change in their body, change in their mood, changes in their sleep patterns, changing their energy levels, and it's just like they feel great about it.
And it gives them that sense of achievement as well.
So not only it's body and mind gets the benefit.
And that's why a lot of people think of, it's very hard to come to terms with that. The body and mind are linked.
Yeah.
So even if
you can't just have a healthy body,
and you maybe get to a good place physically, you can affect the mind and there. So the same with that, if you have a bad place physically and you go and train, you see all these success stories from people with their illnesses and their disabilities that are able to, apply exercise and turn their life around. So now, Richie, right?
Yeah.
Where we stand right now, right? From what I can see, before we get into the final part of it, or before we wrap up, what I can see is, Richie, from me looking on the outside in at you, is someone who hasn't given up and someone who keeps trying. Different things. I know sometimes you do fall back into old habits and stuff, but where you are now in your life, you're at a good place relationship-wise.
Yeah.
You're in a very good place now, starting a new job. You're back training,
Mm-hmm.
and you're talking about it more. Like this podcast alone, Richie, I'd never expected you to do this.
I didn't expect myself to do it, honestly.
So that alone, and then with your medications and all, you have the kind of the proper work-life balance and so forth, and what you need to do to look after your health. So from here, Richie, right? What are you doing now that people listening can maybe try, or what advice could you give them to maybe get them onto us, to even, they don't have to take the first step, just to first dip their toe into recovery? What would you say, what made you decide to say, right, this is what I did and this is what started to work for me? Because we know it's not about jumping up and running fucking 20k. It's about the small things that we do each day that'll add up.
Exactly. It's one step at a time.
It could be putting on a wash. It can be, but it's just
getting up and doing something. You need to have some sort of structure to your day.
Okay.
You need structure. 100% you need structure. You can't get up in the mornings and be bored out. Like, boredom is going to kill you if you haven't got nothing to do during the day.
Something as simple as, it could be a walk.
Exactly. Go for a walk. If you have a dog, go walk the dog. Silly little things like that might sound like nothing, but it makes such a big deal to some people who literally cannot get out of bed in the morning. They don't want to get out and answer the door. They don't want to get out and get their post from the door. They don't want to answer their phone.
They won't come out of the room.
Exactly.
The constantly.
And I know what it's like when you're in that state and you're in that mindset, and it's so hard to break from. But you have to sometimes just force yourself to do it. You see, you bring the body and the mind will follow. You know what I mean? So if you walk out that door, that's what's going to happen. You just get up and do something. You mightn't even be showering. You mightn't even be brushing your teeth. You mightn't be doing anything.
Which is quite common.
100% it is. When you're in, and I know what it's like. I'm not saying this is easy. It's like, I'm in a good place now. Doesn't mean I've always been here. And I have bad days too. I can struggle.
Also, as much as we hate to admit it, we could very easily be there tomorrow.
Of course. I don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. I can only do today. And that's another thing that I recommend, is living in the day and living in the now. Like, it's so easy to live in the past and worry about the future. And if all you're going to do is worry about the future, what's going to happen tomorrow and what's going to, like, I'm worrying about what happened in the past, like, today is just going to pass you by. And every day is going to be the same.
You're learning that mindfulness going through your years, as being present.
Trying to be present in the moment.
There's no yesterday, there's no tomorrow.
I know for a fact it's not easy. And like me just saying this to you now, you're not going to just pick it up like this and go, oh, do you know what, Richie said do this and I can just do it tomorrow. It doesn't work like that. It's like everything, you need to practice that, and you need to get these habits, and it's practicing good habits and forming new habits.
Well, mental health.
Exactly.
Well, like, Richie, in fairness, what you're saying there is spot on, and from what I can see, because for me it started off with something silly, right? Was I got up, I walked down to the front door. I was afraid to leave the fucking bedroom.
That's what I was saying.
I walked down to the front door,
literally walking to the front door.
Down, then I walked down to the steps, walked back up. Then eventually I walked around the block and kept going and going. And all through this time I was going through turmoil in my head, and I was trying to get medications right. I was in and out of hospitals and stuff like that. But I still did these little things, and I got back to work, and it did help. Like, they have helped me to get up and get out, and I'm not sitting there on that fucking couch, or I'm not lying in that bed all day. So from here, Richie, right, you've got your life back on track, everything seems to be going well, and obviously myself and probably everyone will listen will hopefully that it stays this way for you, and that from here then it starts to build, and you know, you get some momentum back in your life.
Today at a time.
And it's not about being better than anyone else, it's just being about 1% better than yourself every day.
Even in the day, all I want
is 1%.
That's all I want, and a little bit of peace of mind is all I ever craved. And as you can imagine, if you heard, obviously if you listen to the story I've just told you, you'll know I didn't really have much peace of mind.
No.
I've never had it, and I'm finally starting to get that now, and that's also due to finding some balance. And
yeah, so you have.
I need balance in my life as well, because it's thrown. I like I said, it's an all or nothing thing for me, and sometimes I go all into the wrong things, or I can have my priorities wrong. So sometimes I can go into training, and training can be so overly prioritised for me that my family life gets affected.
Yeah.
Sometimes I can go to work too much, that my training gets affected and my family life gets affected.
So you're at the moment.
So I need to find that
right
balance.
Here, right now, you have that balance. Right?
I have between work, between training, between relationships, between children, between my own bit of time and my own what I need. And at the moment, I'm not. I've a huge thing going on in my life at the moment, and I'm dealing with it fairly well, I think, because I'm not drinking, I'm not doing drugs, I'm not doing any of that carry on.
And I hope you don't mind saying, but it's your. We won't get into it, but basically, you're
my grandmother is.
My grandmother is slowly.
She's 30. Yeah, she's probably.
Away.
She maybe. I hope by the time this podcast goes out that she's still here, but it doesn't look like it. Do you reckon she's less than a week left? She's terminally ill with lung cancer, and like I told you before earlier, she was a huge person in my life. She was the only person I ran to that actually showed me a bit of love.
Yeah.
So she was my mother basically, and she has been my mother since my own mother died, and even beforehand. So that's. Well, it's going to hit me hard.
It will, but you make it through, Richie.
But I'm building myself a stronger person every day. And when it does happen, I know, well, I don't know, but I'm hoping I'm not going to need to run the drink or run the drugs. I'm going to be strong enough to deal with it, and I'll do her proud. And
I think in that time, it's important to keep that structure you're talking about. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
Like keep doing what you're doing. You're going, Richie. Don't get me. It's going to hit you.
Silly, right?
Yeah. But it's kind of how you.
It's how you react to situations.
Yeah, you know, and I think from all your years of training and from what you have now, if you keep that balance, you'll be fine, Richie.
You need that balance. You need to have.
And allow yourself to grieve.
Of course, yeah.
You know, allow yourself to grieve, because grief can be a motherfucker too. You know, it can disguise itself at times, and you could be thinking again. So allow it to happen. It's a process.
It will happen. How I react to the situation is the only thing I can do. I can't stop what's going to happen in life, and that goes for every day. Exactly. Not just for my grandmother about
healthy
the past.
Distractions, though,
any other day. It's like we have to deal with life on life's terms. We can't control what it is or what's going to happen. What we can control is how we react to situations, how we react to anything that comes up that's thrown at us. Yeah. That's all we can control.
Yeah, you're spot on. So what I would say to you from here, Richie, right, is people listening to this will hear such a fucking incredible story, right? They've heard someone who's been knocked back so many times, who's been through so much shit, and a lot of self-inflicted shit as well.
Of course.
All right.
No, Angel.
You're not getting off with
Put
that.
Your hands up, no.
So
sorry to anyone I've hurt or harmed out there.
Yeah, for anyone who says you can't change, you can't change. You can change.
Every human has the capacity to change.
You can change if you really want to change. So you've got that work-life balance back, and now you've the huge focus on your job, your family, and so forth. So where, if people are interested in training with you or getting PT from you, Richie, where can they find you?
I'm currently working in Fit for Less in Finglas. It's on the North Road, beside where Bargain Town used to be. It's a great gym. It's only €30 a month.
It's a nice. It
has everything. Yeah,
everything you need.
I've been around a lot of gyms, and I've worked in a lot of gyms, and I don't just go to Mickey Mouse places. It is a good facility, and I wouldn't take my clients there if it wasn't. I'm in there at the moment, personal training. You can find me on Facebook, you can find me on Instagram. Or I'll give you an email as well if you like on this.
And folks, he's going to give you his email now, but go on, actually give them your email before I say what I was going to say.
The email is Richie Bourke, and the Bourke is spelled BOURKE .pt@gmail.com.
And the Richie is RICHIE.
RICHIE BOURKE .pt@gmail.com.
If you want to follow you on Insta and maybe contact you that way.
Insta is again Richie Bourke _personal training.
All I would say is, Richie, keep up what you're doing right now. You have that balance. Everything's starting to get back on track. And as I said, folks, if you want to find him, he gave you his details. I'd seriously suggest hitting him up for even a consultation. Go and have a chat with him.
Free consultation.
All it starts with, folks, is a message, a text. Say to Richie, you know, I'm thinking about listening to your podcast. How would you recommend that I can get stuck into?
Just get started. Just walk into the gym. That's all you need to do.
And that's all you need to do, folks. Just start. And when it comes to mental health, folks, it's a pretty much with the mental health as well. It all just starts with telling a friend, a loved one, could be anyone, could be even one of the free phone helplines. So if a lot of this has been triggering to you, you have the Samaritans out there, you have Aware, have a helpline, things on around 10 p.m. at night. You also have the likes of your PA the House. There's a lot of other organisations out there. There's a lot of Facebook pages, there's a lot of Twitter pages, you know, and it all just starts with, I don't feel right. And that's all it starts with. And from there, once you say those first 3 words, I guarantee it'll become even half a percentage. You'll feel like, I'm kind of glad I did that, and that's all it starts with. And that's how you get onto the road recovery. Just
Problem
start
shared
with-
is the problem halved.
Exactly, and just, you know,
Just talk.
just talk. Just mention those first words. I don't feel right. So in the meantime, folks, I have a couple of guests lined up for podcasts coming down the road. So I know I have some what's that word? I have some stress and nutrition specialists and so forth going to come on and have a chat and give the stories. And in the meantime, I'm also going to have people who like Richie, who like myself, who want to share their story in the hope that it just reaches even one person out there that can relate. And it might make things that little tiny bit easier, knowing that they're not alone, knowing that there is help, knowing that there's people out there that are willing to listen, and people like yourselves who share the podcast. And that's not me trying to get you to share it for likes, that's me trying to get you to share it just to reach that one person out there that's in a really bad place, because it is isolating. So last of all, I want to thank everyone for taking the time to actually listen to this podcast. Richie, I want to thank you very much for coming on again. I know we fucked it up, I fucked it up the first time around with the sound, but I want to thank you again for coming along. It's not easy to have a chat about these things, and I'm pretty sure that, again, we'll meet in a couple of months' time, we'll see how things are going, and then hopefully from there then, you know, we're both in a much better place again. And which, by the way, probably by then you'll be through your Christmas. I know how much you used to hate Christmas. So then you'll be through your Christmas. We'll be into a new year, and we'll all have these New Year's resolutions. So we'll see how things are going. So, so thanks again, Richie.
Thanks, Jay. Thanks for having me. Best of luck to everyone.
No problem, folks. Thanks for listening. And if you need to find myself on Facebook, it's Gerard McGuinness. I know friends, my family must have thought they were being posh by spelling it Gerrard, but it's Gerrard McGuinness. I have a photography. I'm very passionate about photography and filming, so I have a photography page there. It's Elite Irish Sports. Feel free to drop me a message on any of those pages. It can be anything simple. We can just have a small chat, and I can give you maybe some guidance on as to how I went about things, because I've been through the whole lot. We've been through the whole lot. We've been through the system for years, so maybe we can just be a guide, just to maybe point you in the right direction. Thanks very much, folks, and I look forward to taking you through the next episode of Mental Well Podcast.